everybody. This is Barbara Barry-Nishanian. I am the president of the Georgia Poetry Society. I reside in Macon, Georgia. And this is February the 20th and 2025. And this is our open mic. We have some regulars on tonight. We have some new folks on tonight. And let me start out by saying, if you plan to enter a contest, a poem in a contest, do not read it tonight, because a lot of committees will say, well, that's been published, and that will make your poem unacceptable for the contest. Are you all aware of that? I thought it just had to be printed. What did I know? But you're going to be on YouTube. So you can have this and you can let your friends hear and see you read. Um, I'm so happy y'all are here tonight. We have so many new people here tonight. And if you remember, it was not up on all posts, but we pointed out that February is National Heart Month. Did you see the new addition to the website where it said, I have PAH, which is a heart and lung rare illness? I don't know if you saw that or not. So for those people, I'm going to be reading a few poems, and then I ask others, just give me some nice poems like Bonnie Claire, you and I were talking about, poems that weren't Valentine, but were just lovely poems, So that's where we're going to start. I think, Gurpreet, since I saw your name first and you're at the top of the screen, please read one short poem, and I'm going to try to remember this. When you finish, say the end. Did y'all used to do that, George? Say the end at the end of a poem?
No, I never said that.
Well, let me tell you why we're doing it. We had one lovely lady reading one night, and she would pause and she would do, well, I thought she had finished talking, and she had not. So now we say the end. So we don't start applauding or giving a critique too soon. What are you going to be speaking tonight about, Gurpreet?
I found one of mine called A Stitch in Time, and this one was published a couple of years ago in Pilgrimage Press, and it was their healing issue. A Stitch in Time. Sew silvery stars into a leaden sky. Stitch together days falling one by one like agates scattered on a stony beach. String them on a waxed thread like beads on a sage's mala. Tie a knot for the years. Stitch a message in blues and greens for troubled earth. Sew a braided wreath, a posy to hang on the door of our tomorrows. Stitch closed the day when worlds fall apart, time's furious insistence thwarted. Stitch wind to blow good fortune. Stitch cavities in pasts and futures. Sew a tapestry of tomorrow's dawns, moonshine glow, galaxy sparkles to wrap ourselves. Stitch our fortress shut against marauders. Stitch red to blue. Stitch a binding thread of me to you. Stitch fuchsia sunrise into a pillow to soothe black nightmares. Pull together with golden thread a net to hold pearls of our lives. Stitch up the hole in the moment when you melt away into a valley of souls. Stitch closed the holes in my heart. Stitch the instant our touch made us one. Sew it into a purse to keep in my pocket. Coin for dreary, lonesome afternoons. The end.
Very nice. So many ways that I can see why that was on a healing program. The way you said, you can even stitch the wind. Who ever thought about stitching the wind? That was so unique. And then about it being a tapestry. And then I liked where you said the stitches were also made for our protection to ward out what you didn't want. I forgot what else you said, but it was for a protection. And then the cutest one, from me to you. Anyone have any comments they would like to make? Okay, Kimberly.
Did you get any influence from Madeline L'Engle's Wrinkle in Time when she's talking about the tesseract and the ant that goes through the two pieces of cloth? Possibly, because it kind of reminded me of that. I was like, that's so neat.
Well, I probably read A Wrinkle in Time, let's see, maybe 60 years ago, so maybe it was in there
Well,
somewhere.
I did too. It's been a long time, but it just stuck with me, that part where she's showing a piece of cloth and she's showing how the wrinkle in time happens, and she has an ant on one side, and then she kind of pulls it together in this little illustration in the book. And for whatever reason, as a kid, that blew my mind. I was like, yeah, so that's kind of what that reminded me of a little bit. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you.
Now, how many knew what she was talking about? I haven't read that. Carol, are you familiar?
With A Wrinkle in Time, or
Yes.
which one?
Yeah.
I read it, but I didn't remember that. It's been a while since I read it. It's a wonderful, wonderful book.
Mhm.
Probably why some people want it banned.
And I
It's a wonderful book.
educated us, Dupree, and so have you, Kimberly.
Mhm.
Should I go next? Bonnie Claire, what do you have to say, dear?
Well, I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed your delivery.
Thank you.
Because that's the way it's conveyed by you, and the emphasis on phrases and words helps to understand and appreciate the inner part of you sharing with us.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say, I know you said the word sew, but mostly you use the word stitch. And they're not really the same word, because a stitch is a sort of a loose sewing together that you do to hurry up and get something together.
To make a stitch.
Make a stitch.
Yeah.
Put it together. And it may not be like you put it on a sewing machine. It's something you do. It's something you personally do. You don't stitch it. You personally do the stitching. And I think that brings it to the concept that you have the power to do this. It's empowering.
Thank you. Oh, Barbara, you're muted.
I was trying not to cough. And I'm on a computer where my computer screen is broken, and I'm trying to manipulate my son's screen in this, so I'm juggling things here. PAH is a rare heart and lung disease. I was misdiagnosed for about 9 to 10 years. They say it's in your head, you're getting old, it's COPD, it's asthma. It's very rare. There are only 3 physicians in the state of Georgia that know about this. And so I have formed Central Georgia PH Zebras is a support group for the Middle Georgia area. And so my poem tonight is No One Fights Alone. No one fights alone when diagnosed with PH, rare disease. Central Georgia PH Zebras support group, here to please. We'll help you face unknown, meet PH friends who care. As patients and caregivers, all resources gladly share. PH Association join, their experience trust, partnering with professionals, new treatments they discuss. PH, bright heart and lung disease, no one fights alone. Central Georgia PH Zebras will help you face unknown. And when you were diagnosed with this disease, and even when I, in 2017, they stamp you, you feel like you're being stamped on the back like a carton of milk with your expiration date. Isn't that something, Carol? And so my expiration date was in 23. And I'm still here hanging on. George, you hang in here with me with what you're going through, and we're all gonna keep on hanging on. So, and in my book, can you see? Let me see, how do I do this? This is called Poetic Awakenings. It says thoughts of an inspirational Georgia poet. And at the end, I said, please gift your loved ones with their own personal copy of Poetic Awakening, as the percentage of sales will be donated to the Pulmonary Hypertension Association from the Central Georgia PhD Support Group, a worthy cause which I founded in 2018 that is close to my lungs and my heart.
Ah.
So I hope to get that out. Okay, Mr. George, he is the gentleman that has given me the courage to be here where I am tonight, because when he was vice president, I read for the first time on the Poetry Society. I don't know if you remember that, George, but you were very encouraging with me. I'm glad to see you, and I'm glad you're with us tonight. What are you going to read for us?
Well, I have a poem I wrote recently. It's about me singing.
About what?
Me singing.
You singing, okay.
Okay. Once I sang a solo. Once I sang a solo before a large crowd. When I was done, they clapped. I smiled and bowed. Some said, later, some said, you were better than the others. But I knew that wasn't so. I heard them sing and wanted to join them, let my voice blend with theirs, become the tenor to their alto, the legato to their vibrato. Now to myself I sing, my voice is unpleasant. In the shower I open my mouth and sing as loud as I wish. No one rushes in to suggest I audition for a solo in an operetta or join the temple choir. Instead, they complain, what's that racket you're making in the bath? A disease has taken my voice, made me squeaky or rumble with a throat of suffocating gargle. My voice cracks like a teenage boy. I warble and weave away from the expected notes. I lose volume when I shouldn't. My cats fly under the bed. I injure their ears, and I wonder, will I ever get my voice back? The end.
Well, I'm glad you have your voice, and I'm glad you're reading tonight. Uh, don't we all have that comfortable feeling he talked about of singing in the shower? You
Mhm.
know, I do solos too, George, but I do them so low that you can't hear me, okay? And, I liked where you said about complaining, but the cutest thing, did y'all catch that where the cats fly under the bed?
Mhm.
Yes.
That was just absolutely precious. It was, I could see my cat doing the same thing, George. How many did you have run under the bed?
2.
Two. Any other comments, anybody?
Well, I could definitely empathize with, oh, sorry, Gurpreet.
No, go ahead.
I was saying I could empathize with, the urge to join in when you're hearing other people sing, especially if you've got the desire to do it and the aptitude to do it. I was in a choir when I was in college and didn't think I'd really be able to do it, but once I got used to it, it's like, oh wow, this is this is cool. A little bit addictive, as someone once said. But I like the take you have on your voice. It's the even though you're describing how other people or other living things might react, you still do it. So, and that's the important thing. And I think that kind of came through.
Yeah, the defiance of being who you are is awesome, and I really like the last line.
Mhm.
You know, it was very honest.
Yeah, I think that singing, no matter how it comes out, singing is very joyful, and it changes I think it changes your brain waves, and it can be uplifting and exciting. And like Bryant said, singing with other people is, to me, it's like the most profound experience that there is, of just that chorus of voices, no matter what it's about. And I really liked how you connected singing and your perceived loss of ability to, create beautiful music, is, something that as we all get older, we feel that in so many ways. It's not just singing, it's a lot of things that we can't do like we used to. But kudos for hanging in there and singing in the shower, and who cares, the cats will come back.
I have to share this. I would go with my friend to hear her sing karaoke. And one night we're sitting there, and when we walked in, this man was singing Your Cheating Heart. Do y'all remember Your Cheating Heart?
Mm.
Oh my word, he is slaughtering that song. So I didn't have anything to drink that night, just ice water. And finally, about 12 o'clock, I said, I want to go try to sing. Now, no one has ever heard me ever sing, something I can't do. But son of a gun, when I played it for my husband, he said, honey, you've got a pretty nice voice. And I tell you, Dupree, what you said, let me tell you, after I sang that night, I knew I could do anything. I knew now that if I would just get up and try, what could be worse than not trying? And the next time I got up to sing, the guy that does the DJ, he told her that she would sing with me. We did it together. And then he said, I'm going to cut your mic and she's going to be singing all by herself. So you better watch out those DJs if you go to do that, because they may play that trick on you. But let me tell you, if you get a chance to step out of your comfort zone, do it. Welcome, Michelle. So good to see you tonight. I'm glad you.
So sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We got people coming in late. We got people leaving early, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just heard George. Now we're going to cross the screen to Bonnie Claire Smith. And you are where again, Bonnie Claire? Where do you live?
I'm in a suburb of Atlanta in Stone Mountain, but I wanted to speak to George's poem to say how much I not only appreciated it, but how much I can identify it. In my younger years, I was a mezzo-soprano. Now my voice range, typical of voice ranges, is dropped. So now I'm a contralto. But I had an experience with stachybotrys, which is black mold.
Oh,
And it was systemic, not just an allergy. And it took my vocal cords.
Oh,
It also took memory of lyrics and melodies. And so my first public appearance was in 6th grade. And so I've been singing all my life. And then in 1999, exposed to this mold in the workplace, I lost my ability to sing. My vocal cords just would not make the sound. It was like, well, you've all heard like speaking through a fan or the spokes on a bike. My vocal cords just would not, they could not, they were just damaged. And so finally in about 10 years later, I sang in public for the first time after the attack and after my vocal cords healed. And I can really identify with
what George was saying, you said you related to that.
totally. So
George,
thank you.
we're
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here tonight. Okay, Bonnie Claire, what are you going to read for us tonight?
Well, I've written about, I guess, 600 poems. I decided to publish about 100 of them in a book called Become the Pebble in 2024. And the title and the graphic of the pebble in the water basically ascribes to the fact that we've all seen a picture of a pebble after it's hit the water and those ripples. But then what if you were standing on the bank and you felt the sun and the breeze, you heard the birds chirping, and you leaned down and you picked up a pebble and you tossed it in the water, you would hear the plop, you would see the ripples, and it's a totally different experience. But this is a call to action. This is a call to courage to actually become the pebble and take the dive yourself. And when we do that, you find that for every degree you descend, there is a corresponding ripple. And so it's a call to action, a call to courage. And I guess I could just read the first and the last poem in the book.
Okay, read the first now, and then we'll go around round robin, and then you'll read the next one on the next go around, okay?
Okay. The first poem is called Sugar Lace. Bodies laced with sugar, drenched in fat. I used to have a waist. Now I wonder where is that? Refined sugar, refined oil, stress out the body, causing labor turmoil. Chemicals in the water, chemicals in the air, chemicals in the soil causing us much despair. Chemicals in the food we eat, bread ain't bread and meat ain't meat. Who wants a GMO treat? Lies on the labels, lies in the ads. Mostly all the food we eat is just plain old bad. Sugar in the body, sucre in the brain, azúcar in the heart. Adding it just ain't too smart. Sugar in the spirit, sugar in the soul sets a chain reaction, killing us before we're old. Bodies laced in sugar are sickly and sad, trapped in a system that's just gone greedy mad. Bodies laced in sugar, walking around on earth, folks are crying, leaving earth dying, bodied in sugar lace. The end.
Very profound.
Like
We
that.
laughed, we understood, we got mad at some of the things you were telling us because we know it's true. How do y'all feel about that?
Is my voice heard?
Mhm.
Kim?
Kim, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if you can see me. I'm all discombobulated here, but having trouble with my voice too. Anyway, I think it could be used in some kind of organization that's helping kids, say in schools, are just it's not just for entertainment. I think it could be used medically to educate, would be a good word. Inform in a entertaining way. I think it's great.
There's I can't promise you'd get published, but there is a place called the Healing Muse, and they take they're not it's by medical, it's a medical publication, and the poetry that they look for, well, you could look it up online and just, they always want you to read one of their books or buy one of their books. You know how that goes. You can look at some of the ones they have in their archives and see what kinds of poems they accept, but it's just called the Healing Muse. And I could see that being a poem that would be interesting for them to read, because this is especially an American problem, I think, is this too much sugar and the sodas and the people. I worked with a man who, I'd see him every morning at work, and he had a Diet Coke and a candy bar for breakfast. And you just think, really? And of course, it's not, well, let's just say he died of a heart attack. And so we bathe ourselves in sugar, and I'm very bad because I'm a chocoholic. And I admit it.
And salt. Brian?
I was going to say that, yeah, my wife is type 2 diabetic. So we can definitely, again, we hear you on that one. It's like we pretty much try to tell everybody around us, like, look, lay off the sugar. It's like, but it's an issue that it is actually kind of global in scope. Um, and some of it sounds like, I mean, a lot of it was a combination of, yeah, being economically advantageous to kind of like a misunderstanding of medical information. Like initially, like there was like this big push towards low fat diets, but they made up for it by sweetening everything. So they wound up a lot of times adding more sugar, and then everybody figured out, oh, wait a minute, yeah, the sugar's the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think being able to engage folks with education, with humor, it's definitely it's an effective way of getting a message across.
It's the truth.
And that's
She's
the
telling
intent.
truth, and it's beneficial for people to step up and say the truth on a variety of topics.
Mhm.
That was very nice, Bunny. Kimberly, I have you coming on the screen after that.
Oh no, I was saying that I really liked that one
Okay,
line she did.
Uh-huh.
The sugar ain't, was it something bread ain't bread? And
Yes.
it made me laugh because I was just reading an article about, all the lies they tell us about what's good for us and what isn't, and how they tried to pass off ketchup as a vegetable in the school lunch program.
Yeah.
Like, at least it was I don't know that that actually happened, but it was like a rumor. At least everyone believed that ketchup was a vegetable for a while. Or it's just, America is so weird that way. We do a lot of strange things when we think it's based on fact, and we find out years later, like, no, Diet Coke will kill you, and cigarettes also kill you. Sorry we gave it to you, soldiers. Like, we do that all the time with our health. We kind of just, we use it, and then the consequences come later, I guess. But sugar we know is wrong, but we're all addicted to it. So
Are you going to read tonight or just visit tonight?
I think I'm just gonna listen tonight, if that's okay.
That's very good. Then we have Rosa McCarty. Rosa, are you still there? Rosa,
Looks like she left.
Her audio is off.
right. If she comes back on, we'll get it. I don't know why, but after Rosa, Carol, you were on when I came on. Where's Carol?
I'm right here.
Here I am.
Yeah, you came on before Bryant. Are you ready to read tonight, Carol? And it's
Yes.
you. What are you going to read for us tonight?
This one has been published. It's called Iridescence. Imagine the first seeker to peer inside an oyster, to crack open its drab shell, a misshapen, rough mystery. The curious sheller, once inside, discovers the oyster's secret, opalescent mother of pearl and her winsome daughter. Throughout its life of sand-created misery, the oyster has formed a pearl, creating beauty from its suffering. A masterpiece of great value, loveliness hidden within the soul of its flesh, freely offered, but at great cost. If only critics and dismissers could see beyond our outer selves, witness the inner struggles, the pain, and with awe, appreciate the iridescence within humanity.
That was beautiful. I mean, you did a good contrast of, and we all know how the roughness of that shell and the drabness and the shock of seeing something so beautiful, and to see that the sand can create misery, but it can create beauty. And I love the way you tied us into that scenario, that we all would like everyone on open mic tonight to look beyond our outer shell and to see our inner selves. Do y'all all agree she captured that so beautifully?
Thank you.
Love that. Love that. Good evening, Kim.
Hi.
It's good to see you tonight.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I'm new to this, but I wanted to make a comment about her poem. I have an idea. Would you like to hear it? A marketing idea?
Of course we would.
Okay. I could see a poster or a picture framed with that poem on there, but it would have to be shortened to put it on a picture. Picture of a beachy scene, oyster, this, and I could imagine people going on vacation and picking that up as a memory of their vacation. Maybe it would have the city printed on there somewhere. That was my cat, sorry. And it's beautiful. I could imagine it as artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Are you an artist?
I'm a photographer.
Okay.
Because I'm a frustrated artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I like instantaneous results. Pitiful.
Yeah, I think you're right, Eva. And I was thinking as you were talking of someone at Martha's Vineyard, Carol, the
Yes.
owner of a shop. That might be a good place to start.
Oh, wow. Ooh,
That would be nice. Thank you.
sure would.
Good networking, friends. Very, very good. Let's see, after Kim, I think I had you, Byron, coming in there. What are you going to read for us tonight?
Me?
Bryant.
Oh,
Well, actually, I mean,
Wait a
was
minute.
Rosa here? Was Rosa here before me?
Who was Rosa R?
Rosa McCarty?
But we can't get her.
She's
Was
on now.
Rosa, you on now?
Don't see her.
Well, okay, she had her audio.
Yeah, her audio's off.
Kim was before you. Kim, are you going to read tonight?
I suppose I am. That's part of my discombobulation. I'd planned on a poem, but I'm entering it into a contest. So I've been flipping through, and I'm gonna throw one out. I've got a little sort of a book right now. It's called Bunnies and Battles, and bunnies is the sweet side of the poems, and then the battles, it's the rough side of life. So the one I was going to read was from the sweet side of life, but I don't know. Let me just try this one. I'm not really prepared, but I'll.
Let me ask you this. Do you want me
Yeah.
to let Bryant go ahead and give you a few more minutes
Yes.
to thumb through?
Okay. Yes. Good
Listen,
idea.
y'all,
So I can listen too.
Yeah, and this is how informal we are here, okay?
Yeah. Good. Suits
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
My cat was walking across my computer. I'm glad that wasn't on the screen.
Okay, Bryant, what are you going to read for us?
I'm actually going to read a poem that I actually wrote for my wife. I try, I mean, as often as possible, to try to write something either during one of our anniversaries or either or Valentine's Day. It kind of depends. We'll been a little out of practice, but
No,
uh,
I'm going to interrupt you, Bryant.
mhm.
One of the past open mics, you really touched us with the poem that you read about your wife. So I'm looking forward to hearing this one.
Well, hopefully I haven't read it already, but this one is called How Definitely Integral. The area under your love can be measured slice of life by slice of life, sampled over finite numbers of I love yous. Or it can be an elegant integration of the intersection of the paths of function you and function me. But once traced, that is only the beginning, for that is only the surface. To find the volume of love over a multidimensional companion is truly an order of magnitude harder. But nothing a bit of time, a dollop of care, and a smidgen of wise math cannot determine. The end.
Smidgen of what?
Wise math.
Wise mass.
Math, as in mathematics.
Oh.
I love that lens of math for this poem. It's really amazing and beautiful.
Yeah, I actually have a sort of a love-hate relationship with calculus. Um, um, I went to school for engineering, and in high school I had a really stickler for a calculus teacher, and I felt like I had, high level math like shoehorned into my head. But by the time I got to college, at least the first semester or two's worth of calculus classes were far easier than I thought they were going to be. And for those who might be for those who may not know a whole lot about the math here, one of the basics ideas of calculus was started by trying to find the area underneath a curve. And one way you do that is by creating a bunch of very tiny rectangles and then just summing up all the different rectangles, and that gives you the area under the curve. So
I failed 8th grade math, so you can have it. I'll stick to art and poetry, thank you.
I can't help it. I have to combine it. It's just.
But Brian, he really reads beautiful poems about his wife. He's a sweet guy. We're always glad to see Brian join us. Kim, did you find anything? And wait, does anybody have anything to say first? I'm sorry, about Brian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was me. Anybody have anything to say about Bryant? Okay, Bonnie Claire.
So Brian, you wrote this already for your wife, or you wrote it and you're going to present it?
I've written it already for her.
Okay, what was her response?
She laughed. She thought it was funny.
Awesome.
But she really appreciated it.
Mhm.
I do just this is a quick note. I actually do have to leave a little early, like at around 8 o'clock, just because I've got a bunch of projects I need to finish. So I'm gonna enjoy the time I have with everyone. So thank you very much.
Okay, I'm glad you're getting to meet so many new people tonight. This is really wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, now Kim, are you ready?
I think so. And I think I've picked the worst battle that my worst battle poem. So I can be a very cheery person, but this is bleak. Who wants bleak?
Me?
Sometimes
Okay.
bleak is good.
Bleak is
Yeah,
good.
it can be bleak. Okay, here we go. Leaves in the gutter of your mind, please find. Blow them out. Bugs bloom, stupid gloom, harass the lonely. And if you think it's you only at the center of the universe, sick one, you curse. Fall on your knees to be a blessed one, please. Cry out and come face to face with your shame and bow to the one who knows your name and loves you, but wants you to change. Those who trust in him will not know shame. Baby, this ain't no game. Stop playing people for your selfish, wretched gain. He is the center. Treacherous one, you think only of your splinter, yet fail to acknowledge the beams you had fall on those you despise. Look in Jesus' eyes. Look, because he can take away your shame. Were you jealous? You only brought hell on us, throwing dirt from your gutter, and you thought this was your way to declutter? No! God help us all. Yea, though we did fall. Pick us up, Daddy God. Throw us in the air. Blow away despair. Ah, your word, there, the air is clear. And I have a little goofy song that goes with it. Because, let's see, pick me up like a sippy cup, Lord, pick me up. Okay, that's it.
Sippy cup.
Pick me up, Lord, like a sippy cup, pick me up.
Well, you know what,
After-
I thought of a personality type that I think is very prevalent right now in this me first generation. You are the center, I think you're the center of your
Yeah,
universe. That is,
yeah,
isn't it a narcissistic personality?
exactly. That's what I've been dealing with. Back at the doctor's office today, from the, things it does to your body. My cat's scratching on paper. Stop it, Godfrey. Quit
Well,
that.
there's a covert and then there's a overt. I happen to know two types. So
Only two?
that's enough.
Sure.
Honey.
That's
You know
enough.
what we're talking about, you guys? And these can be women too. It's not always
Oh
necessary.
yeah. Oh yeah.
To. I found that very good. And I like the way you said you should bow to the one who knows your name, but you only think of your splinter while you're throwing all these rafts and larger things at those
Yeah.
around you and hurting them.
Right.
And I
Self-centered.
didn't get all of that, but you were talking about the dirt on others, and this is your way of decluttering, is
Yeah.
throwing your problems on somebody else,
Yeah.
making them feel worse.
Mhm.
And that is a horrific relationship to be in. And I write a lot about that. As a matter of fact, on the back of my book, if I may, I say, before I say more, I need to warn you that some of the poems in chapter 8 and 9 are unlike most poems you read before. And you warned us about yours. And then it's mine, I say, they are as raw, unflinching, and unapologetic. But that's what makes them powerful. They are as thick as mashed potatoes and dark as beef gravy. So I
Oh.
do like the type of poem you just wrote
Oh, good.
very much. It's refreshing to get both sides of the coin, the light and the dark.
It is bunnies and battles. If
Right.
I'm going to use that.
Well,
Yeah.
we enjoyed that very much, Kim, and I'm glad you're here tonight.
Thank you. God bless you all. We
So
all need it, don't we?
yeah. Rosa never came back, did she? No. So let's see. Eva, the baby's quiet. Are you ready to read now?
Yes, I'm just gonna read one tonight because, as you can hear my voice, I
Okay.
haven't been feeling very well, and I'm also very tired.
The first night I met you, the first day I met you, George, you were there. She had so you're sounding familiar to us. Oh, look at the dog behind Michelle. Okay, Eva, you ready?
Yes. So I did go for a poem from my book of I guess, I mean, it's really relationship poetry, romantic relationship poetry. Not all of them are happy. This is a positive one though.
What's the title of the book? The cover's beautiful.
The Rose's Shadow. A
Okay.
friend of mine did the cover for me.
Very nice. Very nice illustration.
Thank you. Okay, he does sketches and watercolors. He's very good. So this was a watercolor of his, I believe.
Okay.
From, sorry about the false start. Okay. From the beginning, I felt your soul lend me strength, warm calm, like soft comforters, dulling the blows of life. The memory of your skin, a vivid reminder that I win, and in this moment, nothing can shake me. You inspire me to mind myself. The end.
Dulling the blows of life. Isn't it nice to have someone that can do that for us? That was truly beautiful. Very nice one. Did you do that for your husband?
I'm sorry.
Did you do that for your husband?
No,
Or
that was
did you-
before him. Yeah. I did write some really nice ones, but I haven't published those for him.
Okay,
I mean, I may someday, but yeah,
very nice. Dulling the blows of life. Any comments from anybody else?
I think your little one approved.
thank you.
George, you got any comments tonight? Think you should. Okay, let's see. Now we have Michelle. And it's so nice to have you, Michelle.
Hi, thank you. This is my first time being part of this group, and so I'm being kind of quiet so I can just get used to everybody. And I promise in future visits I will speak on the poems you're giving. And I'm enjoying these very much this evening. And I hope you all like mine. I didn't realize I'd get an opportunity to read tonight, so I grabbed one that I had finished. I finished this poem a couple of weeks ago. It took years of it mashing around in my head before I could actually put it on paper because of what it's about. But this is called A Late Fall Afternoon on Jersey Social Circle Road.
Do it one more time.
A late fall afternoon on Jersey Social Circle Road. From one end to the other, it's a 5-mile stretch of tree-lined, two-lane meander through a mostly rural setting of cow fields and pastures, slowly transforming into houses with 2-car garages and backyard swimming pools. For now, beneath the canopy of bowing trees, you still have to watch for deer and park-hour squirrels making their way in one direction or the other. The trees west of the roadside ditch, divested of leaves and color, stand resolute along the way. Still, months from a foliage-rich spring, I wonder briefly if their naked branches, far above my range of sight, are laughing at me as the low-setting sun brushes the horizon with a golden light and slides warm rays between stoic trunks to reach for me as I pass, ducking slightly in reflex, unable to escape the dance floor illusion of a strobe light effect. Glimmering explosions of light that blind and disorient, briefly distorting perception, movement in still frames, and my mind trying to piece them together into fluid movement as I smile, thinking about John Travolta in white polyester, the Bee Gees, and disco balls. A momentary time warp I embrace almost daily this time of year before the trees stand together again and the sun settles into deep pools of orange and red spreading across the horizon as I continue to my destination, grateful for the regular experience of this natural anomaly, nature with a sense of humor.
Wonderful.
You know, I could almost see you taking a brush in painting those words. They were visual. I mean, that was such a visual poem for me of seeing so much that she was describing. Anybody else?
Yes, all the images were so strong and so clear, just crystalline.
Thank
All right,
you.
George?
Yeah,
I've been thinking,
your use of adjectives and adverbs is so colorful, and part of your genius is the flow. It's absolutely natural and easy to follow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, George.
uh, I've been noticing lately as we get out of this winter that the trees that are they don't have any leaves where I am, still struggling with winter here, and and how they are like broomsticks in the sky, And the way you talked about the trees and how they reflect the light around them, it was just very picturesque for me. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that poem. I thought it was terrific.
Thank you, George.
Jennifer, I owe you an apology, darling. I think you came after Eva, and I owe you an apology. Are you
Oh,
ready?
that's okay.
You
Okay. I just want to say something about Michelle's poem. I mean, I can still see John Travolta in the white suit. So thank you for that memory. It was so vivid. It just flashed in front of me. Thank you. That was a beautiful poem.
And
It definitely puts an age on me when I use that image.
well, honey,
Thank you all.
I think I'm probably the oldest one here, so don't worry about your age, okay? What are we going to hear from? And Jennifer, you've been with us before, and so I'm
Mm-hmm.
see you back again. Remind me again where you live?
I live in Brunswick, Georgia.
Brunswick, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. What are you going to share with us tonight, Jennifer?
Well, this is still February. I did a poem. It's from my book called Out Loud Love.
Hold it up so we
It's
can all
called,
see it again. Take your time.
sure.
Okay, I'm not seeing that clear. There's a glare. Can y'all see it, or is it just
Oh, you can't really see it. It's a glare. It's a light cover. It says Out Loud Love.
Out Loud Love? Okay.
Well, it's a poem called Valentine's Love. Since this is still February.
Okay.
Candy hearts, chewy sweet, temporary. A box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes coconut, sometimes caramel, sometimes nutty, sweet, delicious, but momentary. Valentine love. But I want a love that's there when the crud is in my eye, when I lose my job, when I'm in the hospital and the doctor has run out of options, when my child runs away and my money is looking funny. Will you love me then? Or are you a Valentine's love? The melt in your mouth type of love. The lobster and steak dinner love, but not the ramen noodles type of love. Will you be there? Or are you like the box of chocolates when I don't know what I'm getting? Nutty 1 minute and sweet the next. Chewy caramel 1 minute and runny like cherry liqueur the next. Can I depend on you? Or are you just a Valentine's love? The end.
Love it, love it. Very picturesque. I mean, didn't we all get that very, very clearly?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you say? Will you love me then? And like, what are you gonna get in that box of chocolate? No, we don't want a Valentine's love. We want that love that's there beside you in the hospital, that's there when you need them. Very wonderfully said. Bonnie Claire and some of you others can express more poetically the things that I'm feeling, but I don't know how to express. And you did. I don't know what to say about what you did, but you just did it so well.
It's
Okay.
a
Go ahead,
I,
Joe. Bryant.
I thought what you did was a really wonderful inversion of what people would often traditionally think of with a box of chocolates. I mean, it's associated with this, this very it has a very positive romantic connotation to it. But like you said, it's also kind of it's hit and miss. and I do like that kind of circling back to that idea that of love being something that isn't necessarily all sweetness and light, but it is something that can be full of light, especially when it's dark.
Yes, I'm still back at the ramen noodles.
Yep.
Because what kind of love are you if you want the expensive dinner, but you can't be with someone going through hard times when ramen is your choice?
I loved the analogy and the comparison of lover to food. food is such a basic nutrient to our bodies. We have to have it. And in essence, you're saying, I have to have love, but what kind of love are you offering me? And I really appreciate that analogy, the very different ones, some humorous, some more serious. And I too love the ramen noodles, but I especially loved in the very beginning that nod to Forrest Gump to set us off and to put us in the right mood and the right thoughts toward that box of chocolates, because it's such a universal consideration now. The box of life is a box of chocolates. Well, so is love. So thank you, Jennifer. I really, really appreciated that.
Mhm.
And do y'all
you.
remember
Thank you,
when you were
everyone.
little, there was a box that was yellow? It wasn't an expensive box of chocolate. You could get it at your drugstore. And sometime when you would lift the lid, they would have the outline so you would know what was in each little cup. But when you didn't, I would go get a straight pen and I'd try to stick it in the bottom of the chocolate to see what was in there. Did y'all ever, bad as I was about trying to check and see what was in the chocolate before you picked it up?
Yes, I did that.
I was so appreciative of the diagram.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use my finger, but I would put a needle in it. That was very, very good. Brian, since you're going to leave, ladies and gentlemen, can we have him read one more time in case he has
Yes,
to leave?
yes, please.
Sure.
Everyone's been covered now, right? Yeah, we've heard from everybody. Okay, before you go, Brian, one more, please.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to read probably the shortest one I've ever done. It's this one's called The Clasp.
The class?
Clasp, as in clasping hands.
Oh, clap. Okay. Okay.
Love binds us by fire, not roses or soft focus. We hold hands in the whirlwind. The end.
That went very fast. We hold hands in
The
the world.
whirlwind.
Well, that's the best time to hold them.
Yep.
Forget the calm. I want you in the whirlwind, right, Jennifer? Isn't that the kind of love we want? That's going to be there in the whirlwind. That tied in beautifully with Jennifer's just then. That was a very good follow-up. I like that. Very, very good. Well, Brian,
Thanks.
it's good having you here tonight. Please come back in for March. I don't know what the theme's going to be yet. And let me ask you this, guys. For a while now, let me tell you two things. I would like for you to send our editor the poems that you read tonight, because I would like to put out not a Reacher song, but an open mic poetry book. And so you would not only have your books on YouTube, but then you could have it in our library. And for those who are new to us tonight, please go, we're changing so much around. You can put your book in our library. George, do you remember how they formulated that? It used to go through the editor. But I think if they send them to me and send them to our editor, then we could start pulling them together to put a book together. Do you like the idea of having an open mic poetry book?
I like that idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. And let me share something else with you too. A lot of people are nervous about nonprofits and what the government's going to do. Also, George was a member when they used to meet in person, and everyone enjoyed that so much. Because of my illness, and my husband's going to be 95 in a few weeks, I have to be careful not to bring anything home. So we're doing everything on Zoom, but I would like to have meetings in your area in the future. But I am lowering the cost of membership to $20 across the board. You can join, and then if you bring in 2 members at the $20 price, you get an extra 6 months added to your membership. George remembers when you used to have a lot of contests, right, George? And the Reacher Song poetry book would be larger than any other entry into the book. And then members could have some of their poems at the back of the contest. Well, as president, I am asking everyone to pick 3 poems that they would like to have in our Reach of Song anthology. I'm not going to guarantee you except that 1 will be entered. But if we have room, I would like to put more. So stick with us. We're working out, I don't know what you say, the logistics of all of this. But do you like the idea of, number 1, go put your book in our library. Number 2, join, rejoin, expand your membership at $20, and then having the open mic.
Mhm.
Do you like where we're going?
Yes.
Yeah, this is good.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
I've been not well, and
Yes.
so I've not been in compliance with having our quarterly meetings. We're trying to decide if we want March the 1st or March the 8th. I think I need till March the 8th. So
Mhm.
I would like for all of you to mark that on your calendars tonight. This is a meeting for all the members. Even if you're not a member, come in and join us. And Michelle, are you a member? You're muted. You're muted. Michelle, you're muted.
I was a member for a little while and I kind of let it lax and
Well, come on back at 20. Okay, Jennifer, how about you? Are you a member?
I just forgot, honestly, to join, but I plan to. I will.
Okay, thank you. And Bonnie Clay, you and I talked about that, and you're going to try to come back, right? And so,
Yes, and I'm gonna have to scoot. I have a discussion on Dr. Purcell Everett's book, James, that's starting. And so I'm gonna need to scoot. Enjoyed meeting everyone, hearing everyone, and I wish you all a good night.
okay, we'll
Good-
see you.
yeah,
Bonnie, I
that was
enjoyed your poem
Bye-bye.
too.
my
Yeah.
book club just read that by Percival Everett James. It's really an outstanding book.
Who's speaking? I can't find. Oh, hi, yeah.
Isn't this
And I
fun?
just want to say, Bonnie, I enjoyed your poem. This is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you.
Hi, I just want to say I enjoyed your poem. And I have to
Thanks.
leave early as well tonight. So thank you. It was nice meeting you all, and hopefully I'll see you next month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi.
the rest
Yeah.
of us will hold it together, and we'll see y'all in March. You make the program very lively, and I love you all for being with us and supporting us. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me. And
I'd
thanks
like,
you all for
I'd
coming.
like to join.
Okay, thank you. Kim.
How do we do it?
Okay, let me get, at the end, give me your information. We have a new membership chair. Like I said, we're changing so many things. Go to the Georgia Poetry Society website. And Georgia, I believe you know that they just sign in there that they want to join, right? Now you will see that the price $20 has not been updated, okay? But it is 20. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give, I don't know how to use that chat, but you can all get my number. Marion, cut out my number when you post this. My telephone number is, cut it out, Marion, 478-743-3144. Again, 478-743-3144. And I can take care of getting that through. And there are board positions. I want y'all to feel free, even though you're new, to step up and fill a gap that's in our organization, because we've lost so many members since COVID. And
Oh,
we need to get some young blood. I went to the library today. I would like to invite you to do this. I wish I told everybody. What I've asked them to do is to set up a date for me in March to be at the library that I like. And I'm going to tell people about our society and April being Natural Poetry Month, and get them to think about coming back in April and joining us on our open mic. And I'm trying to get younger people to just come in and learn to read. And then we're trying to set up where I can go there once a month and maybe meet with people and read. And I would like to invite all of you, reach out to your library, if you've got a book, give them your book. Let them have it free so they can promote you, and see if you can set up a night once a month where you could just read your own works and then invite them questions and answer. George, I refer back to you because you're my buddy. Do you think that's a good idea, just to do what we can in our own little bitty libraries?
Yeah, yes. And in fact, I've been thinking about going to my library and try to set up a time when people can come in once a week or once a month to get together and read poems and share.
Right. And I told them I was going to make a little bookmark, and if they would help me bear the cost of it and put how we can make a night where they can come and they could just pick it up. But right now they're going to send out a newsletter letting them know I'm going to be there, I think on Thursday, March the 13th, and then prepare them to meet me again in April. So get your poems ready for April, you guys. And remember, you can put your books in our library. George, can you remember anything else we need to tell them about the Poetry Society that I'm skipping over?
No, I think you're covering the waterfront real well.
Well, how do we get our books at the website? I have.
George, can you answer that question?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
I think if you ask Marion, maybe he can.
Right. Carol, you can call me and then I'll pass that on. How to
Okay, thank you.
you.
I think I'd been sending an email to editor, and so I didn't get anywhere. So I'll call you to find out.
Okay, and I like my own website better than the Georgia Poetry Society website because I get so many things that want to sell, buy, and all that. Let me give you my personal email. Y'all all got a pencil? It's the name Joyce and Nadine put together. So it starts off JoyCines, Joycines at gmail.com. And here's what I want y'all to feel comfortable doing. You know I'm a motor mouth. I love people. I've been locked in my house for 5 years, unable to go out, except to convention this summer. I thought it was easier to ask my son for forgiveness than it was for permission. And so I went to the convention. I did not get sick, and I did not make my husband sick. So you are my connection and my mirror to the world. And I want you to feel free to call me, offer suggestions, criticize, say I talk too much, whatever.
Oh.
This is your safe place to be. You got to help us make our place stronger. And I am open. I love, George, don't you like what we're doing now and how laid back this is? Is it too laid back?
I like this very much.
Okay. Kimberly, how you doing, friend? You're muted.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm wondering if there's ever a time when you don't record, so people who are, I don't have a book, so but maybe I'd like to submit for a poetry contest or something where it's not recorded, because I want to share, but I also want the option to like be able to submit it someday.
Okay. What you need to do then is, like I just told Marion, take my number off, don't put it in the YouTube. Don't read it. Oh, you said something that made me say what you said again about you.
Well, I was listening to Kim and she had something that she wanted to read too, that she was hoping that she could submit later for a contest, but if we read it on this recording, we can't submit it. So I was hoping that there was sometimes, or that,
not on YouTube.
Yeah, sometimes maybe we stop the recording and we can do our poems.
All you have to do is, before you read your poem, say, Marion, do not put this on YouTube.
Okay.
When you finish, repeat those instructions again. And listen, I'm hoping that we can get this to twice a month. Yes, Michelle.
this was the issue I wanted to mention, that I didn't realize this was going to go on YouTube.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
and if I can have my part of it erased from the video, I would appreciate it, because that's one poem I would really like to try and get published in a journal somewhere.
Okay,
And I'll pay attention to that in the future.
right. I'm sorry, I announced that when we came in, and I think Marion has something on our post. Marion, Michelle Alderman would like for you to not post her poems on YouTube. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that that's an option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
That's
on
great that there is, because it's, you want to share it and you want to get the feedback so you can make better poems.
Mhm.
Right. Oh, here's what I wanted to say. For your $20, you talk about contest, get out your paper and pen. Because when you become a member, listen up, friends, when you become a member of the Georgia Poetry Society, you automatically become a member of the National Federation Society of Poetry Societies. There are 38, they've got more now since June, and they put out a, what is that paper? Come on, George, what's the name? It starts with Strophes.
Yes,
They
trophies.
list the contest of all 38 states are listing. So you become a member, you get that, and you can enter the contest in every state that's a part of the Federation. Now, we do not have a contest chair. I don't know who's got the language background. I don't know really what is required, George, to become a contest chair. But we used to have people that would post contest, and everybody in the 38 states could enter ours. Because after COVID, we've dwindled so much, and you are the foundation of our new beginning, you friends that are here tonight. I cannot tell you how much I love and appreciate you for helping us and coming on board to keep this wonderful organization alive. George, when I first joined and I was accepted to join, I thought, wow, I am really in with the in people now, because I'm a panster. I write by the seat of my britches. And now I was a part of this wonderful group of Georgia poetry writers. So we are not going to let this not be a viable place for you to have people and community. I want more open mics. I want a night. Here's an idea I'm presenting, I hope on the 8th. Would y'all like a night to just meet and greet? And just come on
Yes.
board, and we could all tell each other a little bit about ourselves, what we want to do, what questions, and just, it wouldn't be on YouTube. It would just be 2 hours of meet and greet. Come on when you want, leave when you want, and have questions and answers. Is that a good idea, George, y'all?
I think that's a great idea, because we're always looking for community. And
Exactly.
a meet and greet would allow us to know where we're located. If some of us could be neighbors to each other, and
Right.
we could get together otherwise and share poetry or events or whatever. But I
Well,
think
just
that's a good
meet,
idea.
yeah, just meet, everybody in one area, meet and have a cup of coffee together in the morning, and I'm sorry we can't meet. Now, here's what I would like to know too. We really are getting off subject of poetry, but I used to be, since the 70s, been a member of the Georgia Art Association, the Middle Georgia Art Association. I'm going tomorrow night, and I'm thinking if we could combine poetry with their art on their third Friday gallery opening. If people would like to come down, or if they would like to send me their poems to see if I could read them that night, or you do that in your own area, get with an art association. I wish we had a way where we could see the art that was going to be in a show, and then we could write a poem about the art that we selected that we liked. That has a particular name, George. It's got a long name.
I do that kind of work, and I can never pronounce it.
I
It
can't.
begins with a K.
I'm I should know it too.
I
If you
thought it
hadn't asked.
started with an, I thought it started with an S. That's how little I,
Phrastic, something phrastic.
Yes,
Are you,
phrastic.
are you talking about ekphrastic
Yes,
poetry?
that's it.
Ekphrastic.
Ekphrastic.
Using an
Ekphrastic.
image to write from, yes.
Yes.
and wouldn't that be nice if we could get with an art association and do that? Wouldn't that be fun? So
Yeah.
I'm going to present these ideas tomorrow night if I get a chance to the president, or I'll call him on Monday.
We could also share publications.
Like how?
There's so many out there, and of course they're tiered, as we learn when we start trying to get published. And we could share with each other the ones that we know are accepting poetry, what types of poetry, and contest information maybe.
Yeah, well, this is what'd be so great about a meet and greet. We could all raise our hand like we're doing now, and y'all want to try to get something set up for March, a meet and greet? Raise your hand if you do. Come on, Kimberly.
Oh, I'm not a member, so
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You have till March 8th.
No, $20 you can be a member. Come on, Kimberly. No,
I'm
but
not
I
a
think
member
for a meet
either.
and greet is how we could invite others, you know? I'm not very pushy, am I, Kimberly?
no, you're a trip. I like you.
I'm George, I think when Stephen was president, he said that he held the job of president, vice president, treasurer, and something else. Well, I'm not that smart, okay? So we're going to get this. We're going to save this organization. We're going to make it stronger. And I'm loving everything you're feeding back with me tonight. We do have a little more time till 9 o'clock. Y'all want to stay on to 9? And I'd love to hear everybody read. George, I want to hear you again. Gurpreet, are you ready to read again?
I can read one, but I'm gonna have to go pretty soon because I have to do an IV treatment for my husband. So,
Oh, bless you.
but
Yeah,
yeah, about 5 minutes. But yeah, I can read a short one here.
Okay.
It's called Transcending Gravity, and this was published in the 2023 issue of the Sandcutters Journal. If cracked promises fragment your shell of safety, float as dandelion fluff to alight in new smooth soil. If unfulfilled expectations suck you into bottomless black maw, become a peregrine falcon, fly yourself to sunny Louisiana. If quicksand doubt suffocates resolve, smothers hope, lift away like a luna moth, drift on soft air currents. If the unliftable boulder of endings glues you to earth, dissolve into particulate mist, drift as fog among the trees. If you are fixed in fire stirred from glowing embers of despair, become smoke curling into cirrus clouds of sunrise. The end.
Wow.
So
I
good.
like it.
Wow.
The song.
indeed.
That's a song right there. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful imagery. Absolutely beautiful.
I couldn't write. I was so mesmerized.
And great ending as well. That was like a very powerful ending to me as well. That's so good. I love poems that end with a punch.
Oh, thank you so much.
They get you.
And
There's so much in that poem. It would be nice to be able to have a copy in front of me, to be able to hold on to the images, because we get stuck on an image and more poetry is being read and it's like, oh, I got to catch up. So it would be really nice to be able to read that poem, but
okay.
beautifully, it flows so lovely and the images are strong and flow one from one to the next. And it's really lovely, really lovely.
Oh, thank you so much.
You really expressed, Michelle, what was happening to me. I was so caught up in one spot, and then I had to run to. Now, George, we have had this discussion before. Were any of you on? No, I get Carol. Were you on one night when one person read and they put their poem on the screen? As a matter of fact, it was a membership person.
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, I think we would have to have a lesson on how to do that. George, I don't know how computer savvy you are, but
There's a share screen at the bottom of your page. There should be a menu bar.
Mhm.
And when you open that, there's a share screen, and you can either share your poem from your laptop or computer onto the screen, or you can cut and paste it into the discussion conversation page.
Okay, Michelle, when can you do a lesson on this for all of us?
Oh, dear Lord.
And you would have to, in order for other people to share the screen, you have to make them a co-host. So then they can share their
No,
screen.
no, not in my experience.
Okay.
I'm in several different I've been in some workshops where we do it, and you don't have to be. They never said you had to be a co-host. We could share the screen. It's just I'm trying to find the bar. Mine's disappeared, maybe because I'm in full screen.
Okay,
There it is. Yeah,
okay.
if you look for where did it go?
Mine's
Chat.
green on the bottom. Is that
Oh,
the
I
same
see
thing,
something
share
green.
screen?
Do
Yeah,
you
I
see the
a green
chat?
arrow.
Yeah, and it's to the right of the chat.
Yes.
On my laptop, it is.
Mine too.
What's right to the chat?
Share screen.
Right. Well, but you can start with chat. Chat is easy. You hit that button chat at the bottom, and then you can type messages to everyone. There's a little blue bar down there that lets you choose everyone, or it has the name of everybody who is present in this meeting, and you can send a private message. If you've got your chat
Oh,
open,
we're gonna have a share screen and chat lessons. I'm gonna ask Marion
I've just sent, there, somebody's doing something.
from
Ah.
Michelle Ellen to every, here we go. That's from you, Michelle, right?
Right.
Right.
Here we go.
Don't you like
Yeah,
learning?
and there you go. That's it's got closed captioning on. Someone's turned on the
It's
closed
really easy
caption.
that.
It's everything we're saying now is appearing at the bottom of the screen.
Kim, thank you. And Kim, did you do one too? No, that was Kimberly Eden, okay. We're
The
gonna
chat is the easiest way to start if we want to put it in writing. If you're I know some people write by hand, but if you've got your poem on your computer, you can copy it, select all, copy, and then paste it into the chat over here. It won't necessarily align the way you have it. If you've got indentations in your poem or a lot of skipped lines or something, and if a line is excessively long or something, it might roll over to the next line. It won't necessarily look like your printed version, but the words are there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to Marion about this and because we could still see the poem and see the person reading at the same time. And that's what I'd like both, and we've discussed this. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. I think it's my turn, and my husband just walked in, and yesterday we were married. What is it, honey? 59 years?
Wow.
Congratulations.
I'm a late bloomer. And mine is called Found Love in the New York Times. Unique way I met my husband. Answered Sunday classified ad. New York Times men's classified. Now married 51 years, not bad. Now 59. Delia Stolars and the Shonian. Ad answered how met New York beau. Didn't get the job, married the vice president of a Fifth Avenue design studio. Fell for his Armenian charm on interview, first felt mistake. After date, wouldn't let him kiss me. Ladies never kiss on a first date. This gentleman's smooth New York style made inexperienced heart twirl. Curly hair went perfectly straight and were about to curl. Hadn't kissed yet after each date. Roommate and I, ER would go. Get shots to calm red stinging hive. Allergic to him, needed to know. Doc said fireworks inside my heart put me in an allergic state, 'cause I'm a Christian lady. To kiss made him wait, wait, and wait. The end. And I did, you know, I was graduating from Traphagen School of Fashion, and I came home and my roommates in my room on my bed with my New York Times, and they would not give me the women's section. So I said, okay, God, anything a man can do with a pencil, I can do with a pencil. So I didn't get the job, but I got the vice president. So just a little moxie, okay? So now, George, what are you going to come up with now, darling? And I hope y'all don't mind me calling these men darling. I call ladies darling too.
All right. I'm working on this poem. It's not finished.
Okay.
It's got some rough spots in it. I started working on it yesterday, and my wife said, "This is not your best." I said, "Well, they all can't be your best."
But
So,
George, I'm so glad that you are writing again and we are reconnecting. Buddy, that's what makes me so happy. So let's hear this
so
thing.
this poem is called "Remembering Winter," and I've been working on this subject for 5 or 6 years, and getting no place, I guess. But here's a try.
Okay.
You may not believe me. Outside my window, a chilling wind shakes the trees. As it blows from the northwest, down from Winnipeg, across the Dakotas, through Iowa's corn stubble, along the Missouri and Mississippi, through Arkansas and Tennessee. Some say winter has left. Others complain he's returned. Came back in meanness to remind us of what he's really like. Least we forget and get comfortable with spring, a fragile maiden, easy to be content with, and invite onto the porch to sit with for a spell. Perhaps winter's jealous. Perhaps we haven't given him respect. I know I didn't welcome him. I sent him to the neighbors as soon as the first snow fell and turned to ice. He kept my car frozen to the ground. Then he spun away and left town. Today, the forecasters predict another winter storm, and in the market there will be a run on bread and milk. Anxious mothers fearing the worst will stock up on peanut butter and fresh chicken. They will forget how spring in her delicacy has the strength to push winter back north and scatter the gloom of a winter's day. But I will remember, out of respect, I will remember him.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm going to be ugly. I disagree with your wife. You know, I'm going to be real ugly, George. I disagree with her. I think that has so much going for it. I mean, winter. Oh, wait a minute. Winter's left and it's returned in meanness. Lord, we had 80 degrees 2 weeks ago, and now we're 20 something now. So I understand returning in meanness. And the comfort, I lost something, comfort to spring. It is jealous because we don't give it the respect we give other seasons, the market being empty. And then you said spring pushes winter back. I'm sorry, tell your wife I disagree.
I will.
What do you say, Kimberly, Carol? What do you got to say, Guppreet? Agree with me?
Oh, yes, I agree.
Yeah, I like that image of blowing across the states and rivers and
Yes.
counties and from Canada.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too. The stumble, I think he called it. It was so cool.
Well,
Personification in there too. When giving him respect, like
right,
it's a person with the
right.
meanness. Yeah.
Yeah. No, George, if that's the beginning, I mean, you got it going. I think that's really good. Okay, well, tell her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us disagree with her, okay?
Okay.
George, I would also use the word evocative. Your poem is very evocative, of memories, feelings, emotions in what you're describing. And again, as I had said earlier about being able to read a poem, because I get lost listening to something and then I have to catch up. So there's some of it that I missed in absorbing parts of it.
Right.
But it is very evocative. I think it's a very strong poem.
Thank you.
Well, don't forget now, all of you guys, that's a New York expression, you guys, girls, I'm sorry. Send these in to me, and her site will be up in March. It's La Rosa Thomas. She's our new editor, and she is very reasonable. She also has a magazine that she's going to promote us in April for us, an e-magazine. And she also has a pod that she will interview each member of the Georgia Poetry Society that is getting their book out. She will do a show on you, and she will also work with you in publishing your self. And so, well, George, wonderful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Kimberly, is it your turn next? I've gotten lost. I think it is. It was Bonnie Claire's, but she's gone. So, Kimberly,
I just wanted to say that I'm going to go now.
well, Eva the baby, she is beautiful. Her eyes are
Thank you.
You did a good
Anytime.
job on her. I
Thank
don't
you.
know if you're going to have more children or not.
Hopefully.
Okay, well, I had a card I put out that said, "Darling, of course I have only one child. I did it right the first time." So you
Very
really done
funny.
it
I like
right with that baby. She is absolutely a model. I mean, isn't she beautiful, y'all?
Yeah, she's
Yes.
great.
Big eyes. Eva, it's always good to see you, my friend, and I look
You
forward to
too, Barbara.
March. And I
Thank you.
forgot her name. Tell me her name again.
Deborah.
Deborah. Deborah, you come back with mommy in March, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank
Okay.
you all. I loved all of your poetry. Good night.
Good night,
Good
Eva.
night.
Bye.
Carol, are you ready to read again?
I am.
Okay.
We have a man up here I'm in Hiawassee, about 10 minutes from the North Carolina border. So I'm in a group, the North Carolina Writers Network West, because we touch North
Okay.
Carolina. I can be a member, and we have a man up here named Tom Davis, and he publishes an anthology at least twice a year. And he's had thousands of poets. And he has a theme, and this particular theme was called After the Storm. And you were to write a poem on that theme. And so I once wrote out a tornado with my baby.
Oh, my word.
So this is the poem I wrote about it.
Should be very interesting.
He's not a baby anymore. He's in his 40s, but he was a baby then. Singing a soft lullaby in my rocking chair, I soothe my infant son into an afternoon nap. Outside, the sky turns much too dark for 5 o'clock. A September storm is brewing. Young saplings begin to bend, to bow before the force of what is coming. I hurry to the bathroom floor to seek shelter, cradling my baby in my arms, willing the storm to pass over us. I shield him with my body as if a human being can withstand the onslaught of mighty winds to protect her child. I hear the dreaded roar. Porch chairs take flight and trees begin to break, their branches tossed all across the yard. Will today's date be etched on our gravestones? After 2 minutes, the noise stops. My son has slept through it all. In the silence around us, I hear nothing but my own whispers praying. In a miracle, our house survives. We survive. In the morning after the storm, the sun shines in a cloudless blue sky, as if smiling on a fresh new day. All around me, I smell the clean scent of resin from damaged pines, the fragrance of hardwood leaves. Trees lie like monoliths, overturned by angry gods. Our wooden swing hangs twisted above the ground, its chain wrapped around the frame 3 times. 2 minutes have reminded me I am a fierce protector, a storm rider, a mother. The end.
That's
Terrific.
good.
Mm.
Wonderful, wonderful. What year was that? Do you remember?
It was 1979, September 13th, 1979, because I always remember that date. I thought it was going to be on my gravestone.
Yeah, I
Oh,
made a note of
no.
that. You talked about the saplings bending and then your date on your gravestone.
Mhm.
I mean, because if you had got out that way, that would have been the storm date.
Yeah.
Very well meshed together. Everybody say hello to Alice Johnson.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Alice.
Alice.
She's the secretary of the Georgia Poetry Society, and I hear everybody, her here on open mic. So see, I'm expecting some of you to sit in board chairs too, just like she stepped up and did. George, meet someone that you're going to be hearing a lot from, and that's Alice. George Hess is the one who was vice president, Alice, and
Yes.
encouraged me to step up and
Mm-hmm.
I can't feel issues, but I did step into issues. I spoke a
Wonderful,
couple times with
wonderful,
George. Huh?
wonderful. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And Carol, that was a wonderful poem.
No,
It,
thank
some of your points that you made appear to be the epitome of Helene in Augusta, Georgia.
you.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
The pines, the debris. But I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't put a date on it like you did. Where were you during that time?
Where was I?
Yes.
I was in a town called Catala, Cataula, Catala, Georgia, which is about 10 miles above Columbus, Georgia, Fort
Oh,
Benning,
oh,
Fort Moore.
yes.
And
Oh,
I was a teacher and I'd been at work and I came home and we sat down in a rocking chair and everything turned black and the trees were bending over. And that's when I ran with my baby and got in the floor of the bathroom. My husband was at work, but we could hear it didn't sound like a train. It sounded like a plane taking off when you're inside a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Last,
1979.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
last spring, we had a tornado come and I got in my little police. Then I went and looked in my art room and I saw the window being brushed with trees. Had I looked around, I would have seen the tornado take out 15 trees in front of my yard. It missed our house, but it took trees out beside us, to the right and to the front and to the left. And we were blocked in, but thankfully our house was not hit. Storms are very interesting to write about. Kim,
Yeah.
are you ready to read another poem? We're ready for you if you are.
Is that me, Kim?
Yep, that's you, Kim. How do you
Okay.
pronounce your last name? Am I saying it correctly? Daughtry?
Okay. Daytree.
Daytree. Okay.
Daytree. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just picked the second one in my okay. Imagine a bubble on the sea. No weight, just glisten for eternity. Bounce where you may be blown by the wind. Dance, friend, light you be. The end.
Imagine a bubble. We could imagine it. Couldn't y'all imagine it the way she verbalized that? It was very, very clear. When did you write that? Is that something new?
I think so. I think because everything that's in this little book thing is kind of new.
Okay.
My ramblings on social internet, Facebook, response to people's pictures and different things, and then I've got little suitcase thingy.
I think,
Not a suitcase, what's it called? A briefcase
yeah,
full of scribbles that I've got to transcribe and
I
and
think
then
we all.
a couple of little books.
Okay,
So
let me ask you something, y'all. Are you willing? I think Carol, you were mentioning some places that you had written in, and that Tom Davis doing that After the Storm book. You know, as I told you with the Federation, that you can join other groups and you can enter other contests. Would y'all like, when we have a meet and greet, to also share little groups where we think maybe we'd have a chance of getting poems? Because I'm so new, I haven't been entering. And of course, being president, I haven't entered any. I've been too busy. But George, aren't there little places, small areas that new writers or any of us would have a better chance in these big concerns? Do you think we could get a list up? All of us bring somebody we know or someplace. I only know my editor. But I know Alice, remember Elizabeth got that award for her book? That's our membership.
Yes.
Like, how did she do that? How could we go about doing?
Yeah.
Can we
Um,
support
there are
other-
several. There are several advertisements with different poetry organizations, the Poetry Foundation, others in the GPS, as well as the National Foundation or the
but
National
also,
Federation.
like Carol was saying, who was he? Your mayor or somebody who that did a book? And I don't know if he didn't know what you said, Carol.
This is a man who just does an anthology. He's primarily he's a printer, but he started this years ago. And Jill
But
Jennings submits to this. If you
who
remember
does?
Jill Jennings.
Oh, Jill is fabulous.
Yeah. And I do a writers group the fourth Thursday every month. And now this month we're doing a book, but we frequently do poetry, and it's on Zoom at 10:30 in the morning on the fourth Thursday. And we have a guest reader. And then we have an open mic. And so Jill tries to come. She's had a lot of health problems, and her husband almost died.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
don't. But see, this is what I'm talking about, that's meet and greet. Is there any way that we could join some of your small groups, not to take away from the Georgia Poetry Society, but to mesh and to reach out and invite them to join us, and maybe they'll give a subject to write about if we could get with them, and that would force us to write beyond our intentional theme. I'd like to know how we can spread out our wings and join other communities. Yes, Michelle.
I think I hear you talking about two different things: places where we might be able to get published, and other groups that we might be able to become part of. Let me mention this: if you're not you should be, or if you're not, Poets and Writers magazine. They have a free online newsletter, and they frequently publish contests and other publication information who's looking for submissions. I highly recommend above them, though, Writers Workshop. They, at every week, sometimes twice a week, they publish as many as 100 different places looking for poems. And you can link to, they give a brief description in their newsletter, and you can a link to that journal or magazine or whatever it is, where you can read their submission guidelines.
Okay, so that was the Poet and Writers magazine. And
Poet Writers was the first one, and this one I'm talking about is Writers Workshop.
Right.
And Writers Workshop also does, at least twice a year, they do a month-long writing workshop. They are the best priced, under $200 if you register early. That's the best price I've seen around the country for online Zoom meeting poetry They do all kinds of different prompts and the larger group breaks out into smaller groups, and you have a different group every time you meet to read and discuss your poems with each other like we're doing tonight.
Yeah, I would like a cheap version, like free.
That's hard to come by.
I know
That's hard
they
to come by,
are,
but
but that's what I'm hoping we can start
I'll-
helping each other.
the way I've done it is to I've gone to a few workshops, and then people relate to each other in those workshops, and then they after the workshop they form a small group.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, we're going to get that meet and greet going up in March. Y'all have not heard my dear friend Alice Johnson and our secretary read. I would like for her to entertain you now with one of her poems. And you
Okay.
show us your book, Alice.
Okay, I'll be happy to. Can you see that?
A Dove in the Golden Light. Okay. What are you going to read tonight from there?
Okay. Thank you all. And thus far, I've enjoyed the two poems that I've heard. The Golden Dove Image. And first, before I share the poem, I would just like to let you all know that I work with our Nation Heroes VA Medical Center. I'm a psychotherapist, social worker, crisis intervention person that deals with individuals that are in crisis with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and rejection, along with loneliness and other of the maladaptive behaviors. So I've utilized my social work skills and my biblical skills together to commemorate a book called A Dove in the Golden Light. And it is a book about poetry with inspiration, love, prayers, and wisdom. The dove, the golden dove image. The dove awakes to shine for peace and understanding. So much love. Peace is found within the dove's wings. No one will understand the dove's heart to have empathy for others. The dove realized God is shining a golden light to guide her path. The dove will move forward in her destiny, knowing she is never alone. The dove follows her faith and will help others to gain theirs. The dove stands alone and watches the hate, the lies formed by others. The dove will step back and allow others to think they are above all. The dove will continue to praise God for his light that looks low and reaches high. The dove prays to God to bring her truth and to ask for the golden light. Thank you.
Now, Alice is the reason we now say the end at the end of our poem. Because I interrupted her one night when she paused, and she wasn't through reading.
So the end.
Beautiful.
So we say the end now. Thanks to you, Alice, we do that.
Thank you.
Just
Very
beautiful,
beautiful.
Alice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, I think if we got come here, Sammy, and say hello. I have a beautiful cat, but Michelle has a dog that keeps getting on the back of her chair with her. Gurpreet, do you have another short? Does everyone have another one short one, like 4 stanzas or something, and we can do one more round real quick?
I've got one I wouldn't mind reading and leaving let it stay in the video.
Okay.
This is a poem back when I was, well, let's just say it's more than 40 years old, and I'm probably never going to get this one published somewhere. But it's called In a Box Beneath My Bed. My words live in a box beneath my bed, breeding in the shallow darkness and heavy air, growing multisyllabic, growing restless in that space of the unspoken. At night, above them, rigid and barely breathing, I listen to them scratching to get out. Their voices rise in muffled tones, up through the slats and the springs and the foam, up through the sheets and the darkness and my skin, climbing through my pores in microscopic hordes on a mecca to my brain, where they settle in cocoons, waiting to metamorphose into brilliant colored phrases and fly away.
Ah,
Very good. Okay, we're not going to give any critiques. Who's got another short one? Just speak up.
I've got a shorty.
Okay.
The sparkles of the night invite a delightful few, little faces shining bright with mischievousness of the day, yet now tucked away in colorful array of unicorns and fairies, those smiles like petals turned another way in peaceful rest. Sweet dreams, night flowers. The end.
like the closing.
Very nice. Okay. Come on, Dupree. You got one, George. Come on. You got a short one, don't you?
I have a short one.
Okay, let's all go. Let's all take one more time. Okay, let's hear you, Carol.
All right. Now this one's I was in an anthology called Poems to Lift You Up and Make You Smile. And this is different. It's called Final Wishes.
Final wishes.
When I am gone, don't put me in a box. Set my soul free. Cremate my body. Mix my ashes with dollar store glitter. Dance around a fire on a moonlit night and toss me in the air. Watch me sparkle one more time.
That's great.
Fabulous.
That's great.
Oh,
Ashes and the glitter. I just,
I know. Just go to the dollar store, she says.
hey, Peter, did you hear that? When I die, you can mix my ashes with, I'm telling my husband to follow your instructions, Carol.
I have something.
Okay.
Good night, love. I had the most amazing day with you. You allowed me to feel so wonderful. I was uniquely created by you. I absorbed the fresh air and beautiful flowers you sent to me. I was able to touch and smell the roses you provided for me today, just for me. I am so content with you. You have given me all I have ever needed. I am singing myself to sleep. I am praying that others will get the opportunity to open their hearts to feel your presence, that they will learn to follow you. I am committed to you, for I will never give up hope and stop praising you, my Lord. Good night, love. And at the end of this golden light, the Lord is my shepherd. I should not want. Psalms 23:1. Thank you.
Beautiful. You have a reader's voice like a professional on stage.
Said that. Thank you.
Do y'all hear that? I do.
Dupree, do you
Like-
have one? A short one?
I'm good for tonight. I've really appreciated all of the beautiful poems. Michelle's, yours was really, really amazing and wonderful. I love those words clawing their way up through the mattress and your skin.
Thank you.
I
This
have
was fun.
It's
It
called
really
Away in an
was.
Airplane. And you sing this poem to the tune of Away in a Manger. Away in an airplane, no way like to fly. Admit fear of flying, afraid I might die. Cemetery plot have, in Bible find deed. Flight insurance bought, but Lord, pray this won't need. Made sure was there early, rolled in on a dime. Flight with me, without me, will fly out on time. Hate economy seats, fact not in first class. Requested seat larger, needed room for my sass. For full-figured models, economy's tough. Have little more room if we flew in the buff. The end.
Cute.
No room for my sass. You know what? Okay, George. Have you got one, George?
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Well,
Oh,
y'all, it's about 5 minutes to 9. I have truly enjoyed y'all tonight. I enjoy everybody that we
Mhm.
you. George I'm just so glad to see him back. I can't tell you. Dupreet, it was great meeting you. Kimberly Eden, Kim Daytree,
Tree.
Mhm.
okay? Michelle and Carol. I just loved everything you added tonight. Alice, I'm glad you got to come in at the end. I knew you were coming in late, but I'm so glad to meet
Yes.
everybody. Can we put a hand up with everyone who wants to be here in August if they're well?
Be here when?
What did I say? August? Oh,
August,
March.
you think
March,
I think March is going too fast. March. Thank you, George. Thank you, everybody. We'll put up, let me ask you one more time, not one more time. The end of last year, I wanted to do another different book, George. You haven't heard about this, I don't think. We would decide on a form of poetry that we had not been familiar with writing in. I would send the instructions on how to write that type poem, and it would only be one poem that we would read at the beginning of our open mic. From, I think we were calling those lessons or our homework. And then I wanted George, to take those poems that were on poet styles and make an educational book that the Georgia Poetry Society could put out of just our homework. How do you like that idea of us having a homework? And then we will have a theme that you can, and you can always not write on a theme. Do you like the idea of stretching our minds and trying something new each month?
I like that.
Yes.
My hand.
I
Okay,
agree.
Yes.
we'll go back and do that. And each one of you, now, if we can do this meet and greet at the beginning of March, I'm going to give you homework. Thank you, George. Love that. Did you see what George just did? That was great. Each one of you at our meet and greet, bring a style that you think is not too difficult, because we got to work our way into getting better. But let's try to do that. Want to do it?
Yes.
Now, is everybody retired? I know you're not, Alice. If we have this meet and greet, would you want it on a Saturday? And just do it for maybe 1 or 2 hours, drop in, drop out? When would you like to do a meet and greet? Nighttime is kind of hard when you got to get up and go to work the next day, right? Anybody willing to give up one Saturday a month? Thank you, George.
One Saturday a month is good.
Okay, now we're going to try March the 8th to do our quarterly. The third Thursday, we need a meet and greet before we meet again. Somebody, let's look at a calendar. What do we have for that first week of March?
I have March 1st, Saturday. March 8th is the second Saturday.
I hate to do it on the 1st, but since this is going to be so informal, we don't have to get any, plans laid out. What am I trying to say? Okay, how about March the 1st, have a meet and greet? George, are you available March the 1st? Okay, everybody raise your hand if you are, and we'll send this out. Michelle, can you, Carol and Kimberly, join us?
I will be at book signing in Sylvan, North Carolina that day.
Well, good for you. Okay, well, what I'd like for you to do then is send an email to me. Tell me just what poetry form you would like for us to maybe try, and a little bit about, just something about you, the name of your book, and we'll mention you at that meeting.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay, this is rushing it, but can we do it March the 1st, you guys?
I can.
Okay, that's gonna go out March the 1st.
Oh, what time?
What time?
Carol, Okay, I'm a late sleeper, but I know a lot of you want to do it early so you can get on with your day. I'm open to suggestions. Give me your opinion.
11.
Okay, 11 sounds good to me. Any other time for you? Everybody up, had their coffee by 11? March the 1st, 11 o'clock a.m., a meet and greet. An idea for a poem phone. Be ready to have a poem to read, though it will not be an open mic. It'll be a Zoom, but it's going to just be. And what's so good about this? Listen, friends, the following Saturday from 11 to 1, we have our quarterly meeting. Your ideas can be put into that format, into our agenda. And so I would appreciate everything you can share that day. You just, no, Carol, you were the ones that's not going to be there. You just send whatever you think you would like for us to be doing, what you want to see the society do, where to go. Y'all, I love you all. I am absolutely ecstatic with all the poetry that you've got a smile on your face, just like you're reflecting what I'm feeling, darling. You too, Carol, this is fabulous. So let me say, this is Barbara Barry Nishanian. I'm the president of the Georgia Poetry Society. I am in Macon, Georgia, and we had a wonderful meeting tonight, and we invite anyone watching this YouTube to just go to the Georgia Poetry Society, register to be on our open mic. You can read, or you can just be a guest and visit with us. Good night to everybody. I will be seeing you March the 1st and March the 8th and March what is the third Thursday? The 20th?
21st.
21st.
The 20th. The 20th.
Okay, so we've got the 1st, the 8th, and the 20th. I'm going to see y'all smiling faces, okay?
Hey.
All right.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Sounds great.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks
And
for
thank
coming
you,
to see
George,
us,
for your
George.
message. Good night.
Bye-bye, y'all.